Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've got an intriguing report and one that you're going to want to hear all the way through. A lot of the times on my channel, I speak about technology and how the government is manipulating DNA and all kinds of strange things, or I would say even ungodly and unghastly things that they are doing, not only here in America, but on a global scale when we consider the amount of weaponry that they are making. Well, on today's report, I want to show you some of the weirdest and strangest weapons that they have already created or had plans to create or already put into effect. Some are no longer in place, but some aren't. But these are the kinds of things that governments around the world are willing to do and have already experimented with. The first thing that I want to show you here, and this is all found on livescience.com, and the report is headlined, The 22 Weirdest Military Weapons. Now, I'm not going to get into all 22. If you want to see them, you can go to the website and check it out. Great stuff. But I wanted to show you the top 10 that I was just like, what? About, and some of it you're going to be like, yeah, I knew that all along, because they are already, as I brought up, DARPA is talking about making super soldiers, mixing mans with chimpanzees, mixing men with certain DNA to make them have night vision, these kinds of things. But let me just get to the point on this article. The first one that I want to show you here is laser-induced plasma channel. This is a gun. Imagine the false god Zeus, if you will, that you heard in Greek mythology. He has this thunderbolt. It's kind of like that. It's a thunderbolt plasma ray that goes straight to its target. Crazy stuff, but something that they obviously messed with. Another one. This one's kind of creepy, but it's pigeon projected missiles. I don't make this stuff up, but it's a pigeon-guided bomb. They would shoot a trained pigeon from a gun to attack its target out of this gun, and basically once it was shot at its target, it would peck them to death. Now, they actually have this thing on display in Washington, D.C., if you've ever been to the American History Museum, but they started it in 1944. They actually revived it in 1948 and then figured out it wasn't the best idea after all and kind of closed it all together. But if you've been to DC and if you've been to that museum, then you've probably seen it on display, as you can see in the photo beside me. All right, here's another, number 3, bat bombs. Yeah, real bat bombs using actual bats. Now this one, the idea behind it is to load bats with explosives and train them to find their targets. So you have this bat that has this bomb on its back and you're just hoping for the best, right? Fingers crossed it's gonna go to the right target. Who knows? But that idea was scrapped after the invention of the atomic bomb. Another one here is Soviet attack dolphins. Now this one's a bit complicated for me because dolphins are very friendly creatures. Ergo, the reason this one never really lifted off the ground because the dolphins can't tell friend from foe. But this was developed in the 1960s, and the idea was to train dolphins to search for submerged warheads. But again, it all failed because the dolphins don't know friend from foe, and well, you can't really do that. Although they are the smartest creatures as far as the animal kingdom. The dolphins are very, very smart. So probably another reason it did not work. Here's another one for you. Chicken nuclear weapon. How did this one work? Well, this is crazy. The government wanted to set off a bomb. If they wanted to set off some kind of bomb or nuclear bomb or detonate a bomb in a very cold environment, they had a problem. They had to try to keep this weapon warm. Well, in order to do that, let's just get a whole bunch of chickens, basically to keep the weapon, the bomb, warm. No joke. This is actual real stuff. This is stuff that they plan to do. But in order to do that, they had to train chickens, I guess, to kind of sit on the nuke, if you will, or sit on the bomb to keep it warm. So who knows where that one actually ended up, but that was a proposition that they actually put forward. Here's another one, kill-proof human soldiers. This is obviously developed by DARPA, and it started in 2007. And may I say it started way before that even, but it was called Inner Armor, and the attempt was to mix man with harbor seals at the time in order to help protect them from assault and make them more super soldier-like. Now, you'll know on the article that it doesn't say an end date. because they are still attempting to do this. But not only with harbor seals, but also with other animals now in order to mix man with machine. I don't know about you, but anytime we start talking about mixing man with DNA of other animals, that can possibly knock us straight dead in the face, and we could have a very bad repercussions as a result of that. So this is something that I am very terrified of, and I don't know about you, but I'll leave that up to the man upstairs, to God. Let him handle that altogether, because when you mix that stuff, well, you never know what can happen. But ergo the reason there's not an end date on that, because they're still messing with it. Which brings me to the next one, and this one, please don't shoot the messenger, but it is true. Gay bombs. Again, I don't make this stuff up. It's fully documented. There are links to all the articles so you can check them out for yourselves. But what is this gay bomb that they wanted to put out? Obviously, first and foremost, a lot of people threw a big conniption fit about it, and it never got off the ground the way they wanted. But in 2005, they wanted to create this chemical weapon that would make enemy troops sexually irresistible to one another. Okay, kind of like, let's put some hormone stuff in the air to make them all love each other, if you will. They got $7.5 million in funding in order to do that project. And obviously, like I said at the get-go, a lot of people got mad, and the thing, well, just kind of hit the ground. But no joke, this is something they actually tried. Which brings me to the next one, invisibility cloak. Kind of like you see on Harry Potter, if you will, where he has that invisible cloak that he wears. This is obviously something that they're still in the works. And I did a report, I believe last year or the prior year, where they actually have invented this already. It's already there, already in the making, but they haven't, produced it on mass scale or made it to that level yet. So it's still in production. And the last one that I want to share kind of dovetails with the number 9 there, and that is quantum stealth. This is like the invisibility cloak, but it bends light waves to a way that kind of, makes them more camouflage, as you can see on the photo there. So interesting stuff. So those are just 10 of the 22 listed. I thought those were the 10 most interesting ones that I wanted to share with you. But I wanted to bring them up because here's the thing. Agencies like DARPA that work with our government, and other government industries, we have so many, but they're making weapons and all kinds of weapons. And I've done multiple reports in the past exposing human experimentation. This is not something that they don't do. They actually do this type of thing on people. Agent Orange is one. I've done multiple examples, even through multiple documentations of admitting that they've experimented on human population in order to do this, specifically on our military and our veterans and those in mental institutions. Those were the 3 biggest targets of the experiments that the governments have done. That said, you must keep in mind the stuff that they are sharing on live science right now and on the internet is about 20 to 50 years behind where they actually are. So you can imagine the kind of weapons that they have available today. They don't even scratch the surface of some of the things that I spoke about today, but I wanted to bring it to your attention because it's very important to know what we have to deal with in the future. We already have things like hallucination guns that they can target at a crowd to make them all hallucinate, ringing of the ears to bog down crowds, or blinding crowds. These are all other things that are already out in the open. Well, those were part of the 22 talked about in live science, but they're already up, working, and ready to go. So anyhow, wanted to bring you the latest on all of that. I'd love to get your comments on it. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share it far and wide. This is the only way we are surviving. Also, don't forget to check out my partner at TradeGeniusAcademy.com. He's got some amazing stuff. He can teach you how to work during a bull market, a bear market, depending on the stock markets, but he is a trade genius, if you will, and he teaches you through this academy how to get things done. And right now it's 50% off. So if you want to learn how to trade cryptocurrencies and work with the stock market on your own, check out TradeGeniusAcademy.com. Use the code HAVEN for 50% off. Anyhow, thanks for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.